best to not. But here's the next topic. I'm moving on swiftly to A Quiet Place 2. One great horror franchise to another budding horror franchise. This one is starring a guy who I absolutely adore as an actor, the great Cillian Murphy from the Republic of Ireland. An underrated actor for me. Not enough people speak about this guy in the manner in which they should, which is absolutely getting down and kissing his feet and worshipping this guy as one of the best actors of his generation. He's been in a variety of different roles. Thomas Shelby in Peaky Blinders, he was in Inception. He's been in just about every kind of role you can possibly imagine, playing FBI agents and everything. And he is starring in A Quiet Place 2, and he's doing his best to try and replace the big figure that is John Krasinski. And he's got a job in his hands, I have to say. Swear away, I will certainly endeavour to swear away. Look, we spoke about this the other day, me and Stephen. We are from Glasgow. Glaswegians were voted the worst swearers in the whole of the United Kingdom. I think something like 115 words per 1,000 are a swear word. So we're prolific with the swearing. I try to hold it in on these shows. I try to come across as a little bit more articulate, eloquent. But I like a good swear word, man, when I'm not on the shows. I do. One of our most famous producers, Billy Connolly, a great comedian, always used to do a bit where he says, "There's nothing quite like fuck off or fuck off," he hinted, is the famous thing he says. So I'll follow in Billy's footsteps. He was a great man. He's still a great man, but sadly he's withered compared to what it was in the 1970s and 80s. But look, man, let's move on to A Quiet Place 2. They are speculating on the box office performance of this movie. The opening weekend, they're suggesting, could be as high as $30 to $50 million. They are currently slating this movie to still come out on Memorial Day, I think that is over in the States, in May. And look, this could work out very nicely for this movie, because over here in the United Kingdom, we are opening things up big time. England is already opened. Scotland is opening up very soon indeed. The theatres will be opening over here. There will be a wave of film fans desperate to go to a theatre again. A huge proportion of the population have been vaccinated, double vaccinated. I've not yet been vaccinated, but I don't give a fuck because I've had the virus and it doesn't scare me. So they'll be willing to go into theatres to watch some good movies. And look, A Quiet Place 1 was a fantastic horror movie, one of my best theatre experiences, going to see that, just so quiet. And it was really intelligently crafted. It did something different with the horror genre. Krasinski is a great director and he's only just started. And what he done with Blunt and the little deaf girl, obviously their daughter, it was a really smart screenplay. And I loved the way it just flowed across the screen from the very get-go in that little store. The kid getting stole away with the alien, it was just magnificent. So they have got a real issue trying to better that movie. But by all accounts, it is the box office pro who are quite established and respected at gauging box office numbers. They have says that it could potentially gross between $30 to $50 million. Now that may be a little bit high, because you do look at the way the likes of Godzilla vs Kong and stuff like that have performed, and they've not quite. I mean, it did do well. It done well internationally, but it didn't do well in the States, and the theatres went opened over here. So it'll be very intriguing to see how it hits. You probably would fit in Boston. Lol, go Patriots. Much better than my Falcons. I love the Patriots, man. I've been following American football since the early 2000s. In fact, it was 2001, after the September 11th tragedy. I watched my first Super Bowl, and it was, of course, the Patriots who won that year. It was Tom Terrific's very first win, first of many. And I followed Tom even after he left the Pats. I love him. So I was supporting him as he played in the last Super Bowl and won it with the Buccaneers. I love the Patriots. I love the Celtics. I'm a Celtic man. Football over here. And I just love Shamrock and Ireland and stuff like that. So I naturally flowed into the Boston Celtics. But I'm a bit of a glory hunter when it comes to the basketball as well. I did like Michael Jordan growing up. So I like the Bulls. I like the Celtics. And I love the Patriots. I just love Boston. It's a great city, man. It just seems like the natural twin to Glasgow over here. It's just got that energy, that sort of punk energy, that aggression. They've got a way about them, the Bostonians, and I love it, man. It just fits perfectly with us here. I love it, man. They're like the Scottish versions of the Scots in America. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm going off in one. I'm fucking gibbering already. It's dangerous. Needless to say, I am very excited about A Quiet Place 2. I don't even know when it's coming out. It's coming out in May. I just says it. But is it coming out in May over here? Time will tell. I cannot wait to see if it is opened up here, the theatres that is, and I get the chance to go in and watch it. I will certainly endeavour to do so, because it was a great movie, and I love Emily Blunt. I think she's absolutely superb. And as I say, Killian's in there, so that's good enough for me. But look, I'm not going to overstay my welcome. I've got plenty of topics to speak about on the show tonight. It'll be interesting to see if COVID halts the box office sort of early success for this movie, because I don't know what the state of play is over in the United States. Are they still vaccinating? Lord knows.